First thing you're going to do is sort your class data alphabetically in Excel. So the following video is going to show you exactly how to do that. Now that you've gotten the data off of TeacherWeb, you see that there's an awful lot of data that we need to work with. And it's in a Word document, and that doesn't really help us a whole lot because it doesn't allow us to do any calculations, make our graphs, sort the data, or anything. So we're going to take this information, we're going to highlight it all, and hit Control-C, and we're going to put it into a Word document, or into an Excel document. So we're going to open up a new file in Excel, and we're going to hit Control-V and paste it in. Now the first thing we want to do is take all of this data and sort it. If you can see all the names of the substances, they're kind of all mixed up. There's really no rhyme or reason to how they're organized right now. So we're going to organize them alphabetically. And we're not going to spend time cutting and pasting and putting them in order ourselves. We're going to have the computer do the work for us. So the first thing you need to do is highlight all of the substances. Tell the computer what things you want sorted, and we want these words sorted. And then go up here to this button. This says Sort Ascending. It's basically an A over Z with an arrow going down. This is going to sort them in alphabetical order from the beginning of the alphabet to the end. So we're going to click on that. And you immediately see a warning pop up. Now the warning tells us, or asks us, if we want to expand the selection or if we want to continue with the current selection. We want to expand the selection. We want wood to be sorted along with its data, along with its mass and along with its volume. We don't want all of these words sorted alphabetically and have a new word up here matching up with this mass and volume, because that wouldn't make sense because the mass and volume don't go with that new substance. We want these values to continue on with the word and end up wherever the word wood ends up when it gets sorted. So we're going to keep expand the selection as our option here. If we hit continue with the current selection, the only thing that would be sorted would be the words. The mass and the volume would stay put, and we would end up with different words associated with different variables, which we don't want. So we're going to click Sort. And if you notice, here's all the acrylic data, and here's the masses and the volume that go with our acrylics. Here's the copper, and here's all the masses and the volumes that go with copper. So we've essentially sorted all our data in a second flat. We don't need to do it ourselves anymore. We could just tell the computer to sort the information for us. First thing you're going to do is sort your class data alphabetically in Excel. So the following video is going to show you exactly how to do that. The next thing that you need to do is calculate the average mass and the average volume for each one of these substances. So let's first make a quick table of our substances. We've got acrylic. I'm going to hit Control-C so I don't have to retype it, paste that in. I've got copper, Control-C, Control-V. I've got cork, Control-C, oops, Control-V. What do we have after cork? We have glass and iron. So we can add those to our list. We have polypropylene, polyvinyl chloride, and finally we have rubber, stainless steel, styrofoam, and wood. Rubber, stainless steel, styrofoam, and wood. Alright, so those are our substances. Now we need to calculate the average. I'll just put AVG, mass, and we need to calculate the average volume. So rather than sitting here by hand or with a calculator and adding up all these numbers and then dividing by 12, I'm going to tell the computer to do the work for me. So I hit equals average. I'm telling this cell I want it to be equal to the average of these numbers. So I'm going to highlight, and then I'm going to close parentheses. So now the computer is going to average everything between B3 and B11, which is right here. Enter, and there's my average. Now I want to calculate the average volume. The average volume is next to the average masses that I calculated. So if I simply take this calculation and drag it over one space, grab that little black box right there, drag it over one space, it's going to give me the average volume for these calculations because these are over one space next to the mass stuff. So I do the same thing for copper. I have to tell the cell to be equal to average of, and then I go through and say I want the average of those, and then I can take this variable and drag it over. So I keep doing that for each one until I have all of the average values. So now that I have my average masses and my average volumes, I'm going to calculate density. I know, and you probably know, that the formula for density is mass divided by volume. So I'm going to take my mass value, and then I'm going to divide it by my average volume value. And I'm going to come up with my average density. The only thing is, I'm not going to do the work. I'm going to tell the computer to do it. I'm going to tell the computer to make this cell equal to, and then I'm going to click on average mass, hit divided by, click on average volume, and boom, there's my density for the acrylic substance. I could do that over and over again. Keep hitting equals, click on this, divided by, click on this, and so forth. But that's a waste of time when the computer can do it for me. So click on this, grab the little black box down here, pull it down, and voila, there's all your densities. So you didn't have to do any of those calculations. Everything is done for you. Now these numbers look a little bit big here. They're a little confusing, they're a little irregular and stuff, so we're going to try to make them all similar in terms of how many spaces they go out to. So I highlight all my numbers. I'm going to right click and go to Format Cells. I could also go up here and say Format and go to the Format Cells. But right now I want to format my number, so I'm going to click on Number. And I'm going to have 2 decimal places instead of the many that are here. And you'll see how uniform the data comes out. Okay, so everything is rounded to the 10th place, and here's all my average densities. Now that you've calculated your average mass, average volume, and your average density for all 11 substances, you're going to copy and paste this table into Word. So highlight it, copy and paste it, and then put it back into a Word document. Remember, you never turn in tables produced on Excel. Excel is your scrap paper. You're going to use Excel to make the tables, to do all your calculations, to make graphs from the data, and then you're going to put that back into Word to present when you turn things in.